Hey everyone, this is the frozen pizza build in Baldur's Gate 3, combining both the College of Winter Spirit Bard alongside the Way the Pizza Chef Monk. These are two mods I made, and they actually work together very well. I also do want to mention, if you have the heartsworn Knight Fighter, which is my third subclass mod, this one actually synergizes very well with the Winter Spirit Bard. But today we'll be covering the two subclasses that just got released on console with the Way of the Pizza Chef Monk and the College of Winter Spirit Bard. You can actually make this frozen pizza that you see on Gale. I'll be breaking down the full level 20 build here. Alright, so first things first, I actually think it's best to start off as the Bard. They have a really good start in this game. Now, if you're to pick a race, High Elf, it's going to be this, or High Half Elf, because they get Booming Blade, which is absolutely insane. It complements this build. And both these subclasses I made sure not to give it because it's so powerful. But the cantrips, Vicious Mockery and Mage Hand, we actually can get an item in Act 3, letting us do this as a bonus action after doing a melee attack. Really nice. But we also have a very powerful melee bonus action from the Monk too. So we actually have a lot of combat options here. This is, again, mod build at level 20, so it is a bit powerful, but that's kind of the point. It can be fun for like a first time doing honor mode or something like that. Our spells, Healing Word, Dissonant Whispers, Thunder Wave, and Long Strider. It's a great buff if you have it on no one else on your team with it. I'd recommend your character to at least have it. Now, our stat spread, you could use Wisdom for a bit of extra damage, but I do think Charisma just makes a lot more sense here. So 16 Dex, 14 Constitution, and 16 Charisma. The Pizza Chef Monk also gets Tavern Brawler built in, so you could use a Strength Potion if you really want to min-max your damage output, but you'll be fine even with just a Dex Monk. Level 2 gives us our Song of Rest and Jack of All Trades, and we get to take another spell here with Tasha's Hideous Laughter being a great option, knock an enemy prone with laughter. We're a bard after all. Level 3 lets us take our College of Winter Spirit. Now, the main gameplay loop when it comes to this is we get our Bardic Inspiration Snowballs and Winter's Wit here, which gives us a Wisdom save attack or an attack roll-based attack as a bonus action that eats up our Bardic Inspiration. We also get our Summon Ice Cat, a Icy Missile, Chromatic Orb, and Conjure Cranberry Juice. This is just it's like Goodberry that heals more, and it also gives you water bottles, which you can throw at enemies to set up cold damage. Now, we get our Winter's Harmony passives here. There's a lot of different options. I like the chilling feedback, so basically whenever an attacker attacks you and misses, you can chill that target, which is coming from the Cold Snap Dagger, which not a lot of people end up using. Hold Person, best spell we can grab at level 3. Get those free crits off. It is nice. Level 4 gives us another cantrip here. I guess Friends if you're the face of the party, otherwise Minor Illusion. Well then, for our next spell, Invisibility is really nice because Band of the Mystic Scoundrel, bonus action if you need to get out of combat. You could also go with Enhance Ability if you want to set up your team, or Detect Thoughts if you're the face of the party. We get to take a Winter's Harmony passive at every level. I think it's really fun. Winter's Crescendo gives us additional cold damage, so that's quite nice. And we also can take the Alert feat at level 4. Although you can go Savage Attacker if you prefer. Now, level 5, I gave this subclass Sculpt spells because it's really annoying to hit your teammates with evocation spells, which I also made Ice Ball and Ice Beam here, which are two evocation spells that are not affected by this, so you can safely use these in your teammate's direction. I did nerf this a bit compared to Fireball. It does one less damage die, but it sits on an icy surface, so I thought that was a fair trade-off. It's, in all honesty, a bit stronger than Fireball because you can double this damage with those water bottles I mentioned earlier. Summon Ice Owlbear Cub. It's cute. Our next level spell, Glyph of Warding, is like a short-range fireball, so that can be kind of nice if you want a bit of different elements. Plant Growth is concentration-free crowd control, but we got a lot of that by the way of cold damage in this build. And for our next Winter's Harmony, I like Ice Bite. Increased critical hit chance is always great, although the Holly and Jolly infusement will give you additional points of necrotic and force damage, which is also quite nice to have. Level 6, we get Counter Charm, but more importantly, we get our extra attack. This is huge. We can also then take something like Stinking Cloud, I guess, or Fear, your personal preference there. We'll then go ahead. I like to take the Holly and Jolly infusements. If we're illuminated, we get additional damage. So it's kind of to light it up like it's Christmas lights almost with the green and red coloring there. Level 7 gives us Aurora Smite. Now, what's fun about this, you see all those damage riders, it's actually the pizza weapon there that's causing those. But basically with this, you get additional cold damage, but it's a level 2 spell slot, so it does eat up your resources a bit quicker, just to not make it super overpowered, but still giving you a powerful smite ability. With this, we also get Summon 3 Ice Skeletons. You don't have to control these, they'll attack on their own. It's really nice. Ice Storm just gives you a crowd control option, as well as Sleet Storm, which is really good if the enemy is concentrating, you want to stop that. Next up, we got another choice's spell. Greater Invisibility is my choice, but Confusion can be a decent choice as well. We'll then go ahead and we get more passives here. So we got things like the Bite of the Ballad, which whenever we apply conditions, we can apply Encrusted with Frost, which is nice because we got that cantrip bonus action that can apply a condition. So pretty useful. Level 8 gives us Aurora's Guided Arrow, which is a seeking arrow-like shot that does additional cold damage. We also get a special ice bow. In a previous level, we got an ice dagger as well. And we get the ice owlbear at this level, so you get a full-on ranger level pretty much at this point. We'll take Confusion, and then for our Winter's Harmony, I like to go with the Evergreen Sting's kind of cool. You get an additional 1d6 poison damage. This is like Kaga's Amulet, but we can heal ourselves pretty easily, so that works out really nicely. We'll then go with an ability score improvement on our Charisma, Lucky, or even Savage Attacker if you find your melee attacking. Those are 3 good options. Level 9, we get to our Snow Arrow and Cone of Cold. 2 amazing spells. So we'll grab those. It's hard to swap to the Monk at this point because we're just getting so many awesome things here that are not like super overpowered, but just fills out our toolkit quite a bit. Snow Arrow doesn't do as much damage as some of our other options, but sometimes there's moments where you'd want to use this spell, and it's got cool VFX like all their other spells. Hold Monster, just best spell to take here. We also get even further choices here. I like Rime Brand whenever we deal cold damage we apply Encrusted with Frost. Do note this does get a little bit overpowered with the Freezing Ray. I tried to nerf it, just was not really that possible. Level 10 gives us another cantrip. We also then get to take another spell here with Dominate Person. Magical Secrets, we already got Cone of Cold, so you can then take Conjure Elemental. The Water Elemental can set up Chilled for double damage. If you really want to get cheesy, the best option would actually be to go to Counterspell and Spirit Guardians. This is silly. Just a heads up on that. We basically become unstoppable at that point. Now, once we continue on here, you can get Polar Restore to get some temporary health. Aurora's Cadence to bless teammates if you heal them. I personally like the Ice Wind Resonance, which will apply Reverberation on a ranged spell attack. So, yeah, that's pretty good. You also then can take Persuasion, Intimidation, Proficiencies. Pretty nice. And at level 11, we get our Chain Ice Beam and Odaluke's Freezing Sphere. Love this spell. Hate that only the wizard can use it. Now you can too. I like to just grab Otto's Irresistible Dance. There's some points where this may be funny and good to use. It's unstoppable for the first check, but the others will then be a wisdom save. At this point, an additional critical hit chance or a Jolly Infusement to do additional damage are pretty solid. You could also go with things like Frosty Finale to apply Chilled on a target with a cold spell damage, so that's another good choice. Now, level 12. I really wanted to swap at some point, but it's best to take this because we get the Summon Snowman here, which is pretty powerful, and Wall of Ice. We also then can take some more spells here, with Eye Bite being an alright choice, and our final choice, I guess we'll grab the Jolly Infusement. And for the feat that we get, a Charisma increase and maxes out for better spellcasting is my preferred method, but the Tough feat can work well too. Now, level 13, we could actually have full level 20 support on the College of Winter Spirit Bard, so if you want to continue onwards, you actually get some fun things, like there's the triple Snowman summon that's at level 20, so if you really like the power fantasy, the Snowmen are pretty strong, so I actually will multi-class at this point. I wanted to do that earlier, but we'll add in the Monk here. It's just there's so many good things you get with the Winter Spirit Bard. It's kind of hard. I was debating between doing an 8-8 split and then adding more back in the Bard, but it's just best to go this way. Then we get to add in the Way of the Pizza Chef. This gives us Sauce of the Scorch and Slice and the Flour Dusted Fist here alongside the Summon Pizza Elemental and Smoked Powder Pizza. We also then get to take the Path of the Balanced Slice here, which adds an additional damage point onto your unarmed attacks. We're going to throw on the Mozzarella Punch there. These are only on our unarmed strikes, so just heads up on that. As mentioned, you also get Tavern Brawler here, so with a Strength Potion, you become, again, unstoppable. Well, if you don't max out your strength, it's kind of strong. I like the Tough feat, though, because we got level 20 support. 40 extra hit points is super useful. Level 5, Stunning Strikes. These are good. Use your key points and potentially stun a target. We can also get our spell save up and then use these with a high chance of it succeeding. I'll then throw on Pepperoni Punch there and continue onwards. Level 6 gives us our Manifestation. So you can use a Manifestation of Marinara, Mozzarella, Pepperoni, or Oregano to add additional damage onto our unarmed strikes. And again, we got a bonus action, which makes them pretty strong. We also get Healing Pizzas at this level and the Summon Dough Elemental, which lets you summon in a little cheesy Dough Elemental. It is really cute. It's just like the bread, or it's just like the cheese wheel. So it's funny, the townsfolk will actually react as if there's a cheese wheel walking by. So just a heads up on that. Now, level 7 is when we get our Serve the Slice. So now we can do the Icy Pizza because the blades apply cold damage onto us. This applies fire damage, and you can actually change it so that we get the cold damage. I'll show you how in a moment. Jalapeno Punch. Booyah. Spice it up. And level 8, our final level, we get one final feat here, with Lucky being a good choice, because I'm very lucky that both of these just got on console, and Lucky is honestly one of the most underrated feats. So here we have the Fire Pizza. If you want to make the Ice Pizza, you're going to use the Ice Blade spell here from the Winter Spirit Bard. This gives you 2 of them, but the thing is, I made these function like Shadow Blade. I was learning how to use the toolkit. I made this one function as if it were a, as you can see there, we can make a fire dagger if we wanted to, or you can go ahead again and then throw this back on, and it's going to change the element to cold. So that is how you get the cold pizza like you see there. Yeah, pretty funny. I also like the dagger because it gives us the frosty butterflies, hush you, and the frost mend strike, which will heal you. Make sure you turn on your manifestations for that extra damage. I'm going to go with the radiant damage. I also like to always have Spirit Guardians up if you're getting into a fight. And the best summon out of these is current with the setup stat spread that we went with is the Snowman. Although we can also bring in the Pizza Summon alongside it there, or even the Dough Elemental, your personal preference there. We also got healing pizzas too, so I actually have these with a separate stack IDs so they can actually appear together, which is kind of funny. So there's our little cheesy bread. He has the cheesy smell. He can also do an attack, which is guaranteed 4 points damage if it hits, but Pizza Bolt is his range attack, and it looks pretty funny. He's got an attack animation. And make sure that you summon in the bow as well. I'm not going to cover gear because honestly with mod builds you can use whatever, and this build it's level 20. It doesn't need any gear. I gave 22 different passes to the Winter Spirit Bard for the reason being you can actually stack yourself up pretty easily that way, and also to keep this pretty balanced in terms of the combat. But Guide My Slay here, this is the bow that comes with it. It got this cold damage added on top of it. It deals cold damage and it can potentially apply Guiding Bolt. And it also gives you advantage on acrobatics checks so you don't get shoved around. If you're looking for armor though, the Armor of Agility would be a good choice because both of these actually do have medium arrow proficiency. The Vest of Soul Rejuvenation works well too. And if you really want to maximize your punching damage, you could throw on the Gloves of Soul Catching. This will then make our bonus actions pretty strong with 80 damage potential there. This is also counting the Tavern Brawler, and I got a Strength Potion equipped. But yeah, we got lots of tools here. I like the Conjure Cranberry Juice. This for using level 1 spell slot, we get 4 water bottles and 4 cranberries you can use to heal yourself. And then you can also go ahead and throw water bottles. This is something that is underutilized, I feel like, by a lot of players. You can throw the water, and then whoever gets hit by that is taking double cold damage. So pretty much all of our spells will end up becoming pretty insane. That 10d8 is doubled. It's not like the Tempest Domain Cleric who can max roll their damage, but it's still pretty cool. I also want to mention you could do a Radiating Orb build really easily with this because the build has medium arrow proficiency. Our unarmed strikes get radiant damage, and we also get radiant damage added onto other attacks here, and Spirit Guardians too. So you can actually go with a crazy Radiating Orb build here. All right, so I accidentally used my action to use Spirit Guardians there. So I'll show you Karlak here, who is also a pizza chef. Sauce of the Scorching Slice is one of our range attacks that we'd be using as a Pizza Chef Monk, which is nice because that can imbue your next attack with additional fire damage. So we attacked him, did a bit of damage, and then I can go ahead here. We got the Flower Dusted Fist. So the Pizza Chef can actually aggro enemies onto attacking them. So we attack them, and then they'll be focused on hitting our target. And then they got the bonus action Flurry of Blows there, which is enough to finish off that target there. Now the Snowmen are pretty strong. They're basically a genie that has an ice texture on them. They also get their genie steps, so they can go literally back lines. That's the crazy thing about them. I made a special Snow Surge ability. Thunder Wave being a really good one, but Snow Surge, I thought was hilarious because it makes a huge area of effect, but it has a huge pushback. He got counterspelled, so we don't get to see that. Just kidding, I have 2 of them, so yeah. If there's a will, there's a way. The pushback is huge, but it's pretty funny seeing them fly that far and then setting up a pretty large ice surface, especially if you have water around. Now, Spirit Guardians, you know the deal. We're a Beyblade of Death, so we want to be running around. The nice thing about this is since we got a very, very powerful bonus action, we can get in and just start punching, and Spirit Guardians is likely going to be enough to more than enough to finish them off just like that there. Also, another thing, there's the Winter's Balance here. This is from the Winter Bard, which will make it so that our team doesn't slow down on ice surfaces, and they also don't slip and fall, so it's actually very nice. Now, when we have multiple here, they can heal each other with a healing word, and I have a buff there, but we have Snowball and other bonus action abilities that will use our Bardic Inspiration, so we're going to do 5 of those, but Ray of Frost applied, and also Encrusted with Frost and Chilled on that target for a single attack, and actually 1 stack Reverberation, 4 debuffs, and 1 bonus action. It becomes pretty strong later on. Now, this is where Lucky becomes really nice. That didn't work out too well, but we can redirect missiles as a monk. Fun ability for those that don't play monk. We threw it back. And what's weird is when we redirect missiles, it will actually take the damage rider from the Gloves of Soul Catching there, funny enough. Now, Gale is also a pizza chef, and one of the things is Chain Lightning. We have a Chain, I guess he isn't leveled up high enough. We also have Ice Beam here now. Ice Beam is really fun. I made cool VFX for this. It actually looks like an actual Ice Beam. It was kind of hard to make. We were able to apply, he has Radiating Orb gear on, but another thing is everybody can launch an Ice Snowball, so you can actually kite enemies pretty well with that. Which is always good. Now, here's the Pizza Chef summon at level 12. I don't have it on my build, but I have it on another setup. He basically just goes in and does attacks. He doesn't hit them very often, but when he does, it does a little tiny bit of damage. So he's meant to be fun. And here's our cheese wheel. Now, one thing about the cheese wheel is he's got cheesy smell here. He can do a fireball if he wants to, but with cheesy smell, it makes him not able to take actions if they don't save on that cheesy smell. It's basically just the stinking cloud spell. What's funny though is he does get an extra attack that you can do after that. So weirdly enough, he can cast a spell and then do a deep impact spell. So yeah, he also gets opportunity attacks. The animations in the bread cheese wheel there are pretty funny. So yeah, his name is also Garlic Bread. This is also featured in Larian Studios live streams, and they were laughing really hard to the point they were crying whenever they saw the cheese summon. Now, Command Grovel, we got our Lucky to re-roll that, or the Soul Catching Prowess from the gloves there. I want to go with the Lucky because it doesn't need a reaction at all. We saved on it thanks to Lucky. Here's the Ice Owlbear. So this actually comes from the Winter Spirit Bard as well. At level 8, you get this one. His attack is actually kind of cool. He has an Ice Bear Claw, which is a 2d8 of damage, and pushes the target back. So I'm still learning. 44 damage, jeez. Oh, we had him chilled. So yeah, he normally would have done 22 damage. But yeah, that actually ended up being pretty nuts. So pretty useful when you can get the chilled off on the target because the damage helps pretty insane off that. But we have our snowmen here. The thing is, they're here for kind of the support to push enemies around. So you have like your Thunder Wave here. I just like the pushback type moves. His cold one is going to be a bit more impactful. But on our turn now, I really like the Chain Ice Beam spell. This actually is really cool. So very difficult to pull this off, but yeah, you can see there, it actually has its own unique VFX, which you see for 0.1 seconds. So let's admire that for a quick second. It's really hard to see this stuff in photo mode. I was really trying to take photos of this for the mod, but really challenging. But yeah, it does chain around to multiple enemies, and it'll deal the extra damage riders from the mod, so there's additional 4 points of damage there. And then we can end off by, we somehow took that target out there, and we have Snowball to throw at the end here. And we'll do it there for a little bit of, critical hit, nice. Now Gale is also rocking this. I love the VFX for Ice Ball too. This is a really fun spell to make because, boom, and it also doesn't hit our teammate there, so that is fantastic. And that's, I guess, one of my favorite things about the Evocation Sculpt spells is that you protect your team from getting hit by that, and it means a lot. We'll attack this target here because they're knocked down, finish them off. Let's go, Pizza Chef. You got one more strike. And will Cheese Boy be the one to end it off? Let's see. I'll use a Pizza Bolt here. Yeah, he's not going to 20% hit chance to miss. Yeah, Owlbear might be the one, though. The thing is, the Stinking Cloud is right here, but doesn't end up affecting our teammates. He misses his first one. Let's see if he can get him on the second. A critical hit wasn't enough. Now, Karlak, the Pizza Chef, may be able to finish the deal here with her Sauce of the Scorch and Slice. We'll use that there. Boom! Shooting it out a blade, and it was enough. That is amazing. Also, another thing I want to mention is the animations for the Sauce of Scorch and Slice are hilarious. Yeah, you use the actual pizza to shoot the fire. It's so cool. But that is the Frozen Pizza College of Winter Spirit multi-class with the Pizza Chef Monk. Now, if you haven't already, I would highly recommend going downloading these. Endorse them on Nexus if you're on PC or if you're on console. Give them a like. I really do appreciate all the support. And let me know your thoughts. I'm trying to improve. I will be doing future updates for these mods as I get more development. I also am working on my next 2 subclass mods, so stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed, hit the subscribe button below, and we'll catch y'all in the next one.